Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Planet Coaster, welcome back to Pirate Valley. It has been about a week since the last episode of Pirate Valley. I do apologize, I've just been super busy and didn't have time to live stream it, which is funny considering most of what you're about, in fact everything you're about to see was done off of a live stream. I did stream the other night, this video's late anyway, but I did stream the other night and I didn't like anything I did. So I scrapped everything and started again. Today, though, we are down in the valley itself, building the beginning of what's going to become a bit of a pirate village, a pirate stronghold, and just a lot of piratey things going on in that general area. It was a lot of fun to do. It was a bit of a challenge. In fact, it was more challenging than I initially thought it would be. It turns out that even though there is a pirate theme in Planet Coaster, it's a very clean pirate theme. It's not really run down in the way I would want it to be, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge to make this pirate area itself, just because of the fact that it is, if I'm not careful, if I don't make my detailing look a little bit different and make a conscious effort to do, you know, landscaping and all that stuff in a slightly different way, it's going to look exactly the same as the upper area of the park. But I do think I achieve a relatively decent end result here today, so hopefully you will agree. As you will have noticed, I've been rambling for almost 2 minutes. As you will have noticed, the landscape, we obviously can't do water in Planet Coaster at the moment, so I ended up using the plain blue roof piece and sunk it into the ground a little bit to sort of make it look like water. And I think that worked, I really do. I really like the way it looks. I know it's not the most visually appealing, I know it's a little bit dumb looking, it's completely still, it doesn't really look like water, and I know that there are paths in Planet Coaster that actually have a bit of a water texture, but I needed water on a pretty big scale, and paths can only go to 10 meters wide, and you can't really put them beside each other without having a noticeable seam, so I decided to go with this. And if you've seen my Planet Coaster Let's Play, you'll see that the paths do make a really effective substitute for water, but in this case, it just didn't at all, so I decided not to do that. I did have a lot of fun, though, with the foliage and the rocks and all that stuff around these bodies of, well, water. And I just think it looks really good, using a lot of the palm trees, the short sort of palm shrub things, the mini palm trees. I actually used some of the, like, the banana palm tree things. I used a couple of those about here. Not that many of them, but it was the first time I used them in this park, in Planet Coaster at all, actually, so it was nice getting to use those. Anyway, moving away from all of that, I decided to put in a bit of a... I'm initially calling this a boardwalk. This is something that was suggested during the live stream, and I carried the idea over from that to this build. Basically, eventually, probably the next part of this Let's Build series, I will be putting some buildings along that with shops and stuff inside it. The big building we build today, which you can see in the thumbnail of the video, does have a lot of facilities in it. It has, of course, it has 2 toilets, and it has the hat shop, the burger stop, that's in GTA, the burger shop, Chief Beef, of course, and the milkshake place, which is Cosmic Cow. It has all of those in it. And it's a nice looking building. It's a nice end piece to this valley. It is actually the furthest away we're going to be going from the upper area of the valley. It's as far down into the valley as I want to go, because I don't really want to build much in the caves. I'll do like a roller coaster through the caves at some point. I'll maybe do some secret-y kind of things in the caves. But I don't want to necessarily jump into the caves and say, hey, let's do this cool building or something, because the interior detailing, as I've mentioned before in Planet Coaster, is not that excellent right now, so considering a cave is sort of going to rely heavily on interior detailing versus the exterior of a building, it's something I just want to avoid. Something else you may have noticed is that I'm duplicating what's technically a building. I put some wall pieces up and then I'm using signs to get that really nice wood look, the sort of big wood boards beneath the pathway, the big sort of reddish brown ones. I absolutely love how they look. I think the first person I saw use this technique, I didn't see him use it for actual walls. I saw Silvaret use it for rooftops in a Japanese themed area of his park, which is absolutely excellent, by the way. But I figured, well, I'll use it for actual walls, because in this particular area, we do need something that looks a lot more run down. We do need something that looks a little bit broken. And I decided that these do work, as cartoony and sort of almost plasticky as they look. They do look absolutely excellent for what I needed. I do end up using them on the building as well, which, again, I use them a little bit sparingly on that, because they do look a little bit, I guess, fake. And it's unfortunate that we don't have anything that's a bit grungy and dirty and actually worn down to make the pirate theme look a little bit better. But we make do with what we have, and I'm quite happy with what I managed to pull off in the end. Hopefully we'll see themes expanded upon in the future. I can't imagine the... I sort of hope the pirate theme isn't necessarily completed, because I would like to see more things. I actually did experiment with those panels a little bit during the live stream, as you will have seen if you tuned in. I experimented with them on a small building, just making the entire building out of them, and it didn't really work. I think you can very quickly overdo it with these panels if they're sort of a prominent feature of a building, such as the walls. It works on a roof because it's, having them at an angle and putting them on there as detail and having them look different from everything else really does work, but having them as just the wall, it's difficult to put details onto them, and they're just a bit funky to work with, so I think they work as accents, as sort of supports for a boardwalk. They work a little bit, they work quite well with what I did in this building, which was, again, quite sparingly, so yeah, Planet Coaster really is an interesting game at the moment, not only because it's, a lot of fun and it's a really creative game, but also because of the fact that it is effectively early access. You're working with what you have, and you make do with what you have to make these beautiful things. And as I've said a million times, and I keep saying, I'm so excited to see this game in 6 months and to see what people are making. I really, really cannot wait to see what kind of stuff we see. It's like Minecraft, Way back in the day, Minecraft builds were so simple, and as the game developed and more blocks came and the slabs and fences and everything came out, it was just, everything got so much more complicated and better looking. It's like when they introduced redstone, then they added more features to redstone, and it's like, you can make all this crazy stuff in Minecraft with redstone because they keep adding stuff, so yeah, I like to think of Planet Coaster in that regard. It's just going to be super exciting. It really is. It's going to be super exciting to see what happens with it. Anyway, back to the build. Not talking about Minecraft. I should like revisit Minecraft at some point. I haven't played it properly in a while. I played it with I think it was Flabs and Genie, or I think Zeus was there as well. I can't know. Was he? I don't know. Whatever the case, I played it with them when 1.9 came out. We all played it for like 25 minutes, and we're like, we should record a video on this when we started playing it. After 25 minutes of messing about without recording, we were like, yeah, let's not do that. So, I may revisit Minecraft. Anyway, tangent aside, this building here, initially, what you're seeing at the moment, doesn't look all that impressive. This building goes through a few phases. I sort of do this rough idea of the, for the outside. I wanted to try and get a pirate flag up vertically. It didn't really work. They all sort of hang sideways, so we didn't really bother with those. But initially, this building's not that impressive. And I do accept that. It's a little bit naff. It's not all that great. It looks more like it would belong up in the up by the docks and on the and sort of the port area. That does change. I end up making it look a little bit more run down, a little bit more grimy. And that's good. I'm actually really, really pleased that I managed to do that, because that was, again, part of the challenge. Nothing looks all that grimy and dirty in Planet Coaster right now, so getting something that did was beautiful. This tower, this tower as well was, it was an interesting build, trying to get these windows on here in a just random way. I did initially have a concept image that I found on Google, and if I have a quick look, I searched like pirate theme park, and if you go to images, for me, it was like the first image, which is apparently Disneyland Paris. Yeah, it's Pirates of the Caribbean, I think. There's you can sort of see the influence from it just a little bit with the tower and the little walkway to the right of it, but that's about it. The rest of the building changes pretty drastically. I was using that just as my concept a little bit to sort of get an idea for what I could do. And a lot of the images I was looking at actually had ships and all that stuff in it. Some of them have galleons. The Pirates of the Caribbean theme park actually does have a big galleon. It also has a big rock skull, which we do use because that is in Planet Coaster. But I didn't use the galleon. And the reason I didn't use the galleon is because to me, the galleon really doesn't work. The galleon in Planet Coaster is this big, beautiful ship with lots of blue on it. It looks more like a sort of Royal Navy galleon than a pirate galleon. So I may place it at some point and see if I can make it look more piratey. But to me, it looks more like a Royal Navy ship. It doesn't look like it belonged to pirates. It doesn't really look like it belongs to the pirate theme. It really does look more, well, Royal Navy. I keep saying the same thing, but it's kind of how it looks. Which is unfortunate, because it is the only complete ship in the game, so we'll figure it out. We will get there eventually, and all will be grand, I hope. But as you can see, you know, I put a skull above the door. I put a skull up on the top of the tower to, you know, make it look somewhat piratey. I put those flags up there. I don't think they stay, honestly. I think I do end up getting rid of those flags because they didn't quite work. I don't know. I did a few interesting things with this. Like this pathway I'm putting along the front of the building doesn't actually go anywhere. It's just there for decoration so I can sort of bring the boardwalk up a little bit so I can, you know, get some details around the tower and sort of make the front of the building not look completely empty, because it was sort of weird. There wasn't really any landscaping I could do around it to make it look all that great, so putting the walkway in front of it was actually really useful for getting some nice landscaping in here. So that was nice. It was nice being able to get that around there and then continue the walkway up to the building and all that stuff, so that was nice, you know? It's that simple. I put some rocks at the side, of course, to detail the rest of it, but I don't know if I do that just yet. I think I'm sort of still faffing about with a lot of the walkway, and yeah, we're still going to be faffing about with the walkway, apparently. That's fine. I will tell you what, while we're faffing about, during the live stream, I didn't actually look up any flag facts, and the flag facts thing's weird for me, and I think I've mentioned this before, but the flag facts thing, if you don't know, I don't remember where exactly it started, but it is a regular thing on my streams. You know, people are like, oh, you got 50 followers this stream, here's a, you know, give us a flag fact. How is someone subscribed? Give us a flag fact. By the way, if you're ever wondering what my Twitch channel is, it's twitch.tv/ConflictNerdTV, and I go live every Monday and Thursday. I've said Wednesday before, but as of this video, it's Monday and Thursday with Building Pirate Valley. Just as a heads up. But anyway, people want flag facts when I hit a certain little goal with subscribers or followers or whatever. And we did hit, I wanted 50 followers last stream, and we got like 90, and I didn't give a flag fact. So, let's see. There's a fact sheet on the American flag. Here's the first three. History states that red, white, and blue were chosen as the colors which represent valor, which is red, liberty and purity, which is white, and justice and loyalty, which is blue. Interestingly, I feel like liberty would be more represented by blue, and white would just be purity on its own. That's the way I see it. Anyway, we'll get to the other two in a second. This ship, I love how this looked. I absolutely love how the broken galleon looks there. That's what I mean. Like, this is all broken and grimy and dirty and looks excellent. Then you have the other one, which is so clean and pristine and doesn't really work with the look of everything else. Anyway, did you know the 13 horizontal red and white stripes represent the original colonies of the United States? I don't know if that one's true. Is it? I think that one, I've heard contradicting ones on that one. And what else have we got? A Baptist minister called Francis Bellamy wrote the original Pledge of Allegiance for the American flag in 1892. There you go. And a bonus one. When the American emblem is hung on a stage, it should be located to the right-hand side of the speaker. I didn't know that. Fair enough. That's interesting. I feel like that's... Okay, I'm trying to, like, picture every time I've seen an American flag beside a speaker. I don't know if that's accurate. It might be. I don't really see that many public speakers. So there you go. That makes up for the lack of them on the live stream, I hope. But yeah, we're now going in and detailing the building a lot more, as you can see. I've taken out the roof on one side. I've added in more details on windows and doors and all that stuff. I'm now adding stuff to the right side of the, well, left side if you're the building, which you're not. Right side as you look at it from the front. I had this sort of tower-looking thing, and then I put some rocks on it to make it look like the building sort of built into these rocks a little bit, which I absolutely love. I think it looks really good. I do want to mention, this building is sort of... You should think of this building a little bit more as a set piece. I've been constructing this entire park thus far very realistically. I've had given everything sort of its own space and windows on all sides. The back of this building is not detailed. The back of this building is pretty much flat because we are never going to be there. We're never going to look at it from behind. There's nothing to see behind it. No one's going to go behind it. And if I ever change my mind and put a roller coaster back there, I will then detail the building. But I'm not doing it now because no one is currently going to see the building from that side. The front of it and the sides are detailed a little bit. The back is pretty bland. We don't even do the back of the building for quite a while. I do a lot of interior stuff. I do a lot of detailing on the front. But the back, we just don't look near for a while. And that's fine. I'm okay with building parts of this park a little bit more, I guess, realistically if you're a theme park. I've been building it realistically as though it were an actual place. As I mentioned, everything has had, you know, a front, back, and sides because it's going to be visible from all those different angles. This is the first building that isn't going to be visible from behind. So on both sides, I end up building up rocks to make it look like it's built into the rocks, basically. And it works. I do really enjoy that look. I don't think I've actually got to the interior of the building yet, have I? No. Doing a bit more detailing on this side. It was weird. It really was weird building this structure because I built it in a weird way. I know I keep using the word weird. It's not a great describing word, but it's true. I built it in a strange way. I built this whole sort of facade thing that you have here. I built the back onto it a little bit and got the rough shape of it. And then I didn't close it up the way I usually would. I usually close up buildings before I do any interior on them, which is a bad idea because the camera freaks the hell out. But I sort of built up around it like this a little bit. Did a bit more detailing, got the posts in where I could, and then eventually we do go to the inside of the building and put in the toilets. We already have the chief beef. There we go, just cut out the space for the toilets, actually. But yeah, we put the toilets in, then we put in the little sort of mini food/hat court, I guess. That's a weird place, isn't it? It's a food court, and you can also buy hats. It's not even a food court. You can only get milkshakes, when milkshakes aren't really food. Unless they're like those food replacement milkshakes, which are kind of healthy. Then I guess, are they food? I don't know if I count those as food. I mean, they're food replacements, and they're meant to be good for you, but they're still milkshakes. And a milkshake's a drink. And a drink is kind of like food, but it's like that old question. Do you drink soup? And I want an answer for this. Or do you eat soup? Because you eat, I would say eat, because you eat it with a spoon. But you drink a drink. You don't drink soup. See what I mean? It's one of those, it's like that. You know, do you drink soup or do you eat soup? I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm very curious about that one. That is one of those like really leading questions where people are like, there's going to be some people in the comments who are like, oh my God, I've never thought of that. It's like when someone says you are now breathing manually. Sorry, by the way, you're now breathing manually. But I'm doing it too, so it's fine. It's one of those annoying things when someone's like, do you drink it or do you eat it? And you just can't stop thinking about it. So you're welcome, basically, is what I'm getting at. Oh boy. Anyway, we're just going ahead and detailing the outside of the building with some seaweed, which is exactly what it needed to make it look a little bit more grungy. The seaweed makes it look overgrown, it makes it look old, it makes it look a little bit more nautical. Because old buildings by the sea are gonna have more things growing on them than you know, new buildings anywhere else. So we went for some seaweed, and I really do enjoy how it looks. And of course, adding a bit more detail here and there. That's not the only thing we're doing, by the way. In a moment, we're going to get on to what I think really made this building look that bit better. Because at the moment, it looks okay, but it's a little bit stumpy, I guess would be the word to describe it. So I decided to come up to the top of it here and sort of add a bit of a tower. which I'm really happy with, by the way. I was originally going to use the signs there to do the detailing on the outside of it to make it look a bit more like wood. I also thought about using the Cosmic Cow signs on the side to give it like a nicer looking wood texture. Didn't really work. I thought about the toilet sign, of course, to give it a sort of wood post look, almost. Didn't really work. And I thought I might go and make like a custom sort of building out of the wood posts and layer that on the outside, but I didn't bother. What I ended up doing was actually using, and you're going to see it in a second, I used the wood balconies, and they worked amazingly. I managed to get the balconies upside down in there to give a little bit of detailing to this section of the building, and further up this tower, I actually end up using them again and having bits sort of sticking out here and there to make it look just that bit more detailed, to give it more texture and sort of variety in the look of it. And I know this doesn't look amazing. I know it doesn't make sense to have the balconies, the railing sticking out the way it does, but I'm actually okay with it. I think the fact that it looks a bit weird is actually okay. And I think it looks okay because it is piratey. So having weird bits sort of sticking off the building kind of makes sense. I like to imagine this tower was not there when the pirates moved in. They sort of chucked it up themselves. So yeah, I really enjoy the look of it. I think it adds something to the building that was much needed. And of course, you can see there, using the signs again to add a bit of variety to it, getting a nice door in there because of course we needed it. And that is pretty much going to be it. We're going to put a roof on this because of course we are. You need some kind of roof up there to make it look nice. I think I put some lights on it as well. But that is pretty much going to be it. We're going to have a couple of cinematic shots at the end of this, one or two, because no one's going to be moving around here, and that'll be us for today. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. There's a lot of work to do in the rest of the park. We've got to finish the lower area, and then we'll pretty much be done with Pirate Valley, but that's a few episodes away. Anyway, folks, if you have any ideas for Pirate Valley, do feel free to let me know. Oh boy, I've been talking a lot today. It's interesting. Anyway, if you have any ideas, do feel free to let me know. Don't forget to answer my question. Do you drink or eat soup? I need to know. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.